Oh, okay. So next up is Eva. Tell me if you guys can see.
Well, super. Thanks, everyone. Let me
Okay.
move to. So I know we spent a good amount on financials, so I'll try and keep it brief. Also, because we did review at the finance committee meeting just last week, I believe it was. And let me shrink this down. So key items here at the top. We always want to know exactly where our cash is going to be. So we are the dark gray and the um, there at November shows where we actually landed, and the light gray is where we project to land, right at 3.53 million. So still solid cash position for the end of the year at 144 days cash. And then if we go down the columns below actual and budget, but what we've really moved to now is forecast. So what we expect to where we expect to come in based on actual enrollment, which was very close to budget, and expenses as well as other pieces that have come in. If you look in that 1, 2, 3, fourth column, forecast, we are ahead on budget on revenues. So the 9.4 versus 8.6, that's what we anticipate, largely because of the WTU, the adjustments that were made to funding to allow for required salaries. Now, on the good side of that, we had preempted, had already built almost all of that into our initial budget. So that is a net benefit, which is really the way we've been approaching all of the grants this year. Let's look at existing expenses and make sure that we are utilizing that to the greatest extent possible and putting the school in the position to be ready for ESSER to fade out in September. Will be the end of 2024, will be the end of ESSER. So overall, we are slightly ahead of budget. The 504 anticipated surplus for the year versus a break-even budget. Closely watching the unexpected and preparing for that as well, which is why we really positioned intentionally grants to hit existing expenses for the HVAC and other unexpected facility expenses. Those are the primary unbudgeted expenses that we've really seen this year. And we are already building out the pieces for fiscal year 25, facility expenses, curriculum expenses, staff rosters, and enrollment projections. So those are the critical pieces that then feed into the budget. I'll stop there. Overall, positive to budget and tracking positive this year to date.
Any questions for Eva? It's pretty straightforward here. Okay. Thanks, Eva. Appreciate it. Appreciate the update. Principal's report. Dr. Owens, you're still driving?
No, I just pulled over on the side of the road and just waited.
Okay. All right.
So we have 219 as of today. Scholars. We would have had 221. We lost 2 that moved to North Carolina. So we're still kind of ahead of what we had from this time last year. We don't have open house to try to recruit for enrollment, try to recruit more scholars. So that would be every Monday to the end of February. Our staff and students participated in LK Parade. That was a success. We had banners out there. We handed out some swag materials as well, where we just had completed our planning for our MLK school-wide celebration. This week we started our testing, NWE testing. We got a majority of the school done. We got some makeups we got to do tomorrow. So today was a great success. So I get kudos out to the team. And we are in the beginning stages of planning for our enrollment carnival. And on the 23rd of January, we'll be hosting our high school fair, as well as we'll be going to participate and probably take some kids on our cheese bus over to visit some other high schools as well.
Okay. So we started the year in terms of enrollment. We were a little, at least at some point for the year, we were a little higher than 216, correct?
Correct.
Right. Okay.
We lost some due to kids are in transition. So some went to Ohio, some with our EL students, some went to Canada. So they're coming in, but as they come in, so if they find employment in the house and somewhere else, we lost quite a few going to Maryland and different parts of the United States.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I know we had the previous meeting, there were some interest from some parents in joining in having the kids come to the school. Some of this was from the school fair that was held, I think, last year or something like that. EdFest. EdFest, are we still working on, kind of those leads as well?
We got some that's going to be joining us next year. We had some show interest yesterday, and Mr. Tower had told them they have to call in to get on My School DC so they can start the school year. So I think we got possibly 4 new scholars that should be starting once the parents go through that process. They'll be starting coming on board this school year.
Okay, so you have okay. I probably have some additional questions. So, on high school fair, you bring high schools in to talk to the 8th, 7th, and 8th graders, or just 8th graders?
Both. Last year we did 6, 7, 8, so we're going to expose all the middle school, same as we did last year.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Thank you, Dr. Owens. I may have some further questions, but let's keep things moving.
All right. Hi, everybody. Good evening. And I apologize for having my camera off. You might see me on there twice. We're having some weather out here, so the internet is a bit unstable, but I'm glad to be able to join with you today. I wanted to share that we're, middle of the year. We don't have a lot of fresh data right now as we're in the thick of NWA starting this week, as well as our, looking at those basic assessment skill pieces for our intervention program. So we will have some fresh data, but even during that time right now, so after the middle of the year, some of the things that we do to really have our semester 2 strategic plan up and running is we're looking at our current enrollment. So we have a watch list that we've had since the summer that we used from, we created at the end of last school year to hit the ground running. So we're reevaluating that watch list. We're looking at the enrollment, do we have new students? Do we need to kind of make some adjustments to our watch list? And when I say a watch list, those are the students that we know they either passed, they were near passing last year, or they, they're showing an upward trajectory that
I think we just lost Melissa.
Oh, so she's talking about showing an upper trajectory as far as those that are that are possibly we could move them up.
Hear me now? I think you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I think Mr. Owens, you're not. Just a heads up.
No, I was just trying
There
to
we
tell.
go.
I thought you came off, so I was going to speak for you. But you can go ahead.
Oh, you're awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I couldn't tell it kind of paused again. My internet's a little wonky right now. But no, so we have that watch list and we make those adjustments based on the data and the current enrollment. And we have things in place for those scholars that are below grade level, right? And so this really helps us to be intentional too with our scholars that are at proficiency or nearing proficiency. And it will affect that proficiency score on CAPE when it comes up. So just give a little example of some of those targeted students that we have there and some of the data points. So we just gave an example of what some of those lists are and the data points that we're tracking along the way throughout the school year. On the second page, I know Mrs. Hopkins has joined us this evening to give us some intervention updates. So we'll jump back up to her, but I have also listed all the testing dates we do have. So for our parents that are here, thank you for joining tonight. I have a lot of testing coming up. So just as a reminder, please help us by having your kids to school, have them on time and ready to roll, because there is a lot of testing in the second semester and we want them to be their very best as they come in. So those dates are listed there below. But I am going to turn it over to, first, are there any questions for me? And then we'll turn it over to Mrs. Hopkins for the intervention update.
Is DC Cape the new park?
It's the new park.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, it sure is.
Good
And I can go
evening. Can you
through.
hear me?
Oh, yep, I can hear
Can you all
someone.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good evening, Talacia Hopkins. I had to dial in on the phone, so I'm working two things here. So in regards to intervention, so to give an overview, we have 4 interventionists at our school. 2 of them work in lower school K3, math and reading. 2 of them work in upper school K8, math and reading. We have a combination of push in and pull out services. So that looks like some intervention working in the classroom in small groups, and then some small groups or individuals being pulled out of the classroom for sessions with the interventionist in a different setting. So intervention, we are targeting students who are non-SPED and who are non-EL. In the beginning of the school year, every student is going to be tested on MClass to get that initial data. And from that initial data, we determine that group of students, I believe it's the orange group, who are pulled out for the additional services. And so every student who falls in this category in the building based on their initial data is going to be in intervention in a cycle. So far, what we've seen from our middle of the year testing, which we're still going, we haven't finished it. We started about 2 weeks ago, but with some interruptions to our days, we're still continuing to test students for their middle of the year growth, both for intervention and also for NWEA. So these are 2 different tests that students are taking, but we're looking to see the growth on both complement each other. So those students who are in intervention have already shown that they're outgrowing their peers who are not currently receiving intervention. And so we're just seeing a higher rate of growth for those students who are getting those pull-out or push-in services with small group attention, and they're getting it every single day of the week. So there's a high amount of time between that small group teacher setting, and we're seeing definitely that students are growing at a faster rate, those who are in intervention than the students who are not in intervention. So we're at the midpoint with this upcoming data, with their middle of the year assessment in both MClass and NWEA. We determine for the rest of the year how we move forward, who's going to be in groups moving forward, in order to make sure that the services are maximized for all the students who fall in the category, that they all get the intervention within a cycle in the school year. Trying to think of what else I wanted to say. Any questions?
Is there any new prep for the CAPE, or is it literally the exact same thing that happens for the park?
Say that one more time. Is there any?
So the DC CAPE is the new version of park. Is there anything
Yes.
different or anything added on to that is different for the kids, administration, or is it the exact same thing?
We would need to do some other things specific for the CAPE to prepare students, because these assessments aren't going to be direct predictors. They're going to give us what reading level and skills that students have. We have to take that and interpret it and align it to the standards to see where students need specific work around specific standards. And so as we get closer and we get into our boot camp season, which I like to call, usually what schools do is in the 2 months before, you start to gear up and think about how you're going to target specific students. Often we call them our bubble students, who have the high potential to show specific growth from one category to jump to the next. And so we definitely want to target them. And so in the 2 months before, that's when we would be, in a sense, in gear up mode, which would look different across different grade levels. But that would be
Carrie,
definitely the season and the next step.
Sorry, Carrie, I think too, you're asking, is this going to look different from how we prepared for part based on everything?
Okay.
Yes,
And
that's what I
as you
was
receive
asking.
the same, it's the same. It's not, and unless something come out in the last couple of weeks I haven't seen, and Ms. Hopkins,
Sorry, I cannot hear.
but everything that we have received, it should be the same.
Okay. All right.
Melissa, you were
And,
going in and out, just FYI.
and,
It was
and one
breaking up.
thing,
I didn't.
one thing that we're doing, we're having some of the teachers look at some of the questions, even though it's the old part of those questions. So to get the kids indoctrinated in how the questions are asked, what to look at, so they won't have a deer in headlight look when they see the question, as well as the practice as well, so they could work on their test stamina as well.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else? What access? I've never seen that before, and when we put the acronyms up, just understand that not everyone here is a teacher or is in education. So just a short explanation. Like I've never seen access. I don't know what that is.
My apologies. Down
And
at the
in
very
class,
bottom.
D-bells.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one before either. I don't know what it is.
Gotcha. My apologies. I have a little access is for the ELs, all assessment, which is for our EL students, our students that are learning. As I described with another acronym, right? My apologies, but it is for our English language learners. So access
Okay.
is for that. And then our M-Class DIBBLES is Dynamic Indicators of Basic Early Literacy System. And that is our early literacy intervention test that we do for all students K-5 to see if they need some additional supports for intervention.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I'll make sure going forward that I
finally figured out NWEA last year, so so okay. All righty. Thanks, Ms. Hopkins. I probably have some additional questions for you guys as we go through the enrollment piece. Who's doing this one? Is that you, Ms. Hopkins, or someone else?
This should be Mr. Barrington.
Okay.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Um,
Hello,
let me-
Mr. Oliver.
hello, good to see you, Carrie. So Dr. Owens actually touched bases on some of the information. Of course, he and I, we connect every day. And so we have the opportunities to make sure that we both stay abreast on recruitment every day. So I'll just go to our well, my first bullet point is from January until February. I will continue to have open house sessions. So those families that we had, or I had the opportunity along with AP Hopkins, who attended IFS, as well as some of the other representatives from the school, we continue to follow up with those families via through email, as well as sometimes making telephone calls to make them aware of open house. We had our first open house session virtually, which was right before the Christmas break. I think it was the day before we had our first session. The next session will be coming up this Monday for the open house session. One family has already RSVP'd for the open house, but moving forward, every Monday until the end of February, we will have open house sessions. So that is virtually as well as in person. So I do have staff members that will be able to step in doing the in-person open house sessions, just in case we have two going on at the same time. However, we still continue to connect with those families who came to AFS, but also the families who are in Salesforce or My School DC. So I make sure that I connect with those families to send them an email from myself, but also following up with them with the telephone call so we can make sure we get the families into the building so we can make sure we help them with enrollment. The next bullet point is the daily review of My School DC Salesforce, which I just spoke about. So I make sure that I monitor that system every day. Next, so I have weekly meetings, of course, with Ms. Walter to make sure that I am on task with, I would say, my daily goals to make sure that I work towards meeting the goals as far as recruitment, but also making sure that I take a look at maybe some other opportunities to help in reference to enrollment. So I know a lot of times I speak towards our Hispanic and Latino population for enrollment. But however, there are some other ways in which we can connect with other business partners or other organizations within the community. So I continue to work with her in reference to looking at some other opportunities for enrollment. The community pantry, that is important. We make sure that we broadcast that to families via Parent Square, via face-to-face interactions, and sometimes sending out flyers or giving parents flyers in their hands to make sure that they are aware of food pantry. This is also important because it also helps us with retention as far as keeping our families that we have, making sure that we service not just their student, but also making sure that we service the parents as well with that resource. Next, recruitment signs have been given out to not just our parents, but also people in the community. So for an example, Dr. Owens just mentioned that we participated in the Dr. Martin Luther King Day Parade. So we had the opportunity to connect with not just Ward 5 families, but families from Ward 1 all the way up to Ward 8 at the parade. And we also had a chance to have our students, which was the cheerleader team, as well as, let's say, 2 representatives participate with us in the parade. So that was a great day for us, but also a great day for Hope. The high school fair, in which Dr. Owens spoke about, giving our students the opportunity to connect with high schools, being able to have some of their questions answered one-on-one, but also giving the schools the opportunity to speak with our students, with our scholars, to find out what are some of their expectations or what are some of their goals. So I know that is important for our students, but as well as our parents, I think we're able to help our parents in reference to helping them with that. And I think that's all I have at the moment in reference to recruitment. I will say that I have had this is the last thing I want to add. So for the past 2 weeks, I've had the opportunity to get out into the community and start to put up some signs in the community in reference to us for the 24-25 school year. So right now I'm in the mode of making sure that I get out and get into the community, joining some meetings, visiting some agencies and some businesses to make sure that we let them know that we're here, but also trying to see if I can get on their calendar to speak to some of the families or meet with some of the students that they have at their establishment. And that's all I have.
We got one more thing, Mr. Tolson. We also are pinpointing some pickup spots throughout, not just Ward 5, but throughout the whole District of Columbia, different wards, because next year we'll be picking kids up. We're trying to cast our net, not just Ward 5 alone. So we're trying to increase our enrollment for kids like in Ward 6, 7, 8, 1, and 2. So we're trying to pick up enroll kids from all over District of Columbia. So we're going to provide transportation for them, in which we pick them up at different drop-off and pickup spots throughout the city.
Thank you for mentioning that, Dr. Owens. I appreciate that as well, because the parents, they said that has been a big support for them. So being able to provide that service for them, it helps us in reference to recruitment with the families. I appreciate that.
I'm curious how the open house sessions are going and just what participation looks like. What are the questions you're getting or the discussion? Just kind of curious how those are. I know virtually must be a challenge to do that and keep it interactive and engaging. Just curious how they're going.
Good question. So right before the holiday break, we had, let's say, maybe 2 or 3 families attend, and that was a great start. This will be our second one because we just came back from the holiday. So, of course, this past Monday, we had the Dr. Martin Luther King Day Parade, which was a holiday. One family has already RSVP'd for next Monday, so I'll continue to send out a reminder tomorrow. I will say one of the questions that we get, believe it or not, is that there's another establishment or there's another charter school, and it's similar to Hope, but it's I think it's called Hope Adult Campus, and so yeah, so sometimes
Academy of Hope.
Academy of Hope, and sometimes I have to explain to parents, no, we're not the adult campus. However, if you have a child or if you have, let's say, younger, kids, will be welcome to help you along the way in reference to helping your child with education. But we do get those questions. And then we also receive questions in reference to, since we're in Ward 5, there are about, I want to say 20 different charter schools just within our ward, but a lot of times parents ask the questions in reference to, okay, what makes your school different from another school? So I always make sure that I help the parents understand that we're the only STEAM school in Ward 5, but also another question that comes up a lot of times will be, well, where is the school? Because they're like 3 schools that are right next to us. So a lot of times I have to explain to them, we're on 2917 8th Street. So sometimes parents are not familiar with their own community, believe it or not. And so sometimes those questions, which may be, I think sometimes people see them as being a simple question, but no, it helps the parent to understand our school, but also how important we are to the community, because we're right in between 2 communities.
Yeah.
And I always explain that to them. But I think that when parents have the opportunity to come to the school to speak to the leadership team, myself, Dr. Owens, as well as PR Hopkins, it helps to create this they see the bigger picture, because now you're able to connect with the team and you're able to see what we're doing by walking the halls or being able to join the meeting. So, but those are just 2. We've received more, but those are just 2 simple questions I think that I receive from parents a lot of the time.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I have a question about Mr. Tolliver just said, parents ask, why should I come to our school? And so what else are we telling people, like, or there after, what do we do for after school, after care? Is it just basketball that happens? Like what are the things as a parent would find attractive to come to a school? And what are some of the other things that we're doing? How are we selling the STEAM idea, right? What are our talking points around STEAM? What's our after school situation with activities? We've added a lot of English language learner students to the school. Is there a Spanish club for the little kids, for the kids? Is there something for the teachers? Like, what other things as a parent, what other things will bring people to the school?
Good question, Carrie. I'm glad you asked that question. I'll tell you first and foremost what grabs a lot of parents' attention is that when I mentioned to them that we have PLA University, so PLA University gives parents the opportunity to hone in on the skills that they may or may not have, but having that option of, let's say, having someone work with you one-on-one to connect with professionally, maybe to work on, let's say, those hard skills or soft skills that you have. Those are some of the selling points that I'm using in reference to parents. But also, I will say as well, Carrie, parents are interested in finding out about before care and after care. And so we just so happen to be a school that has before care and after care. There are some schools that do not have that. So it works out for our parents who have to, let's say, go to work early in the morning. They can drop their scholar off at school, or in the evening, if they get off a little bit late, we give them that time to sort that flex time, I think, to sort of kind of give them that transition, which is a smoother transition to pick their scholar up in the evening. That would be the second.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tolliver, is aftercare just watching the kids, or are there activities that the kids, are there programs, are there things the kids are doing to keep them busy other than someone just watching them?
Absolutely. So we have STEAM, and we also have our show choir.
Mhm.
We also right now, I think we're looking at, and Dr. Owens may be able to sort of kind of elaborate more on this, but I know we were trying to see if we can get someone else or another organization to come in and help our students, let's say with Spanish. So our students who fluently speak English, we wanted to give them the opportunity to learn Spanish. However, I know when he and I had a chance to, let's say, connect with some organizations, I know there was a specific fee to be able to have someone come in. So we were trying to see if we can get someone to come in that will not charge a lot to come in and work with our students. I'm not sure what else. Dr. Owens may have some things that he's planning along the way. But yes, our students participate in sports, but we also have the opportunities, let's say, to connect with our students in the evening with those programs. So that may be one of the things I think that Dr. Owens may be able to expand a little bit more, but we make sure that we let parents know we have STEAM, show choir, we have aftercare, before care, and we're looking at some additional opportunities. I will say that the Edgewood community, they also want to partner with us as well. They have some after school activities, which is the same community that our students come from as well. So they also want to connect with us. So maybe I'll share in the next meeting where we are with that, but they also want to help out with us in the evening.
No, that would be good. Edgewood is just up the street. Probably not walking, but that would be a great opportunity. On what are we? So on the other side of that, a big part of the enrollment is returning students. I know you've been trying to get a parent teacher organization up off the ground. Not sure how that's going. But like, what other things are we doing, or what can we do to make sure that there's also a focus on retention?
Absolutely. Good question, Carrie. So we right now, myself, Ms. Garcia, and PIL Hopkins, just today, we are getting ready to send out the intent to return forms to get a complete assessment on our families. I will say right now, I had the opportunity to connect with the representative from Aussie. So right now, currently in the system, we don't have any families that are looking forward to leaving right now. So as far as retention, our families are here to stay. We do have 22 applications right now on file for the next school year. So that's 2024, 2025. But right now, we don't have any families that are looking forward to transitioning out of our school right now. So I think all of these support systems that we put together, like the transportation, recruitment, I think the parent teacher organization, as well as the food pantry, and I would say some of our other activities that we have, like sometimes we have the recruitment parties or the summer carnival, all those things play a big part in helping our families stay safe, but also feel welcome inside of our building. And I will say, with our Hispanic and Latino families, I think we've given them the great, I would say we've given them a segue for them to be themselves inside of school, but we provide them with snacks before they leave the building. We provide them with transportation. But we also make sure inside the classroom teachers are using different manipulatives to accommodate those students until they're able to, I guess you would say, come into their own. So right now, I know between AP Hopkins and Dr. Owens, they make sure that every day those students are well taken care of, as well as our other students.
So next year we should have 221 plus in the building.
A little more than that.
I mean, I'm gonna hold you to that number. I'm gonna hold you to 221 plus if it's going so well and everybody's excited. I mean, that's great, but a lot can happen between now and August, or now and October, to be quite honest. So, okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. So a while ago, I know you're doing the high school fair for middle school. We had talked about some things a while ago about some items that were missing from middle schoolers going to high school. Are the middle schoolers doing, correct me, maybe I'm wrong. Is there a language component that they're doing? Is there a health class? I think that's what a lot of high schools are looking for as well. Like, one of the things that bring parents into schools is the end result, which is what high school is my kid going to get into. And if we do not have kids going to tier one high schools, not all, at least some of them, you're not going to get people. I'm sorry, that's reality. So we have to do the things to get some of our kids into the tier one high schools. Language requirements, we have the great STEM program, which is fine, but there are other things that were missing previously, and I don't know if they've been looked at, corrected, or there's something in the works to move that needle.
Absolutely. Oh,
One thing
go-
we haven't installed are the health programs, so they have the health to go along with the PE. What I talked about for next year, but it's going to depend on enrollment. Is trying to get a language program in because a lot of high schools look for language. And I talked to Mr. Tauber. We're talking about partnership with other high schools. We need somebody to partnership with so we can feed into them. So we're going to go and meet when we do high school fair. We're going to talk to some of those counselors there, find out what actually are they looking for our scholars, and see can we institute that for the up and coming school year.
Yeah, because there's some schools like DCI, they take a certain number of kids from Washington U Yang, Mundo Verde, and a couple of other schools. They don't, well, language is a big thing for them. You don't have to have the language, but those schools get specific numbers every year. So, I mean, the partnerships, they do exist, but it's important to get on those lists. Those are the things that people look for as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes, how that turns out for us, and what we can implement going forward. Okay, all right.
We
Let's keep it
track
moving.
that actually, like where our 8th grade scholars go? Do we have that data somewhere?
Mhm.
We do, okay.
Okay, and so the February board meeting, someone can please give us an update on the high school fair and also maybe share some of that data, refresh our minds. Where did our last year, where did our kids go? And what are our kids thinking, some possibilities for this year? It'd be great to know that information. So next February meeting.
And this isn't a question, but I know that when on the finance committee, when we were looking at some of the changes in the budget based on the enrollment, I think something that jumped out was the number of scholars we do have in 8th grade, which means the pipeline, kind of the potential enrollment, even if we have existing families that are going to continue to enroll, there's such a big number sitting at 8th grade. That means it's even a bigger gap to get to our goal next year. So just making sure that, you're thinking about that in terms of strategy and how do we make sure we have kind of a consistent through line from start to finish in our grades to help build that consistent and returning enrollment.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Allison. All right, who's up next? Thanks, Mr. Tolliver. A quick marketing update.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Thank you for having me. Wanted to share our social media statistics from last year compared to 2022. So Facebook reach increased by 88% in 2023 compared to 2022. Instagram reach increased by 241%. Facebook visits increased by 171%. And Instagram visits increased by 84%. We had a lot of great social media campaigns on Hope Socials last year, and we have a lot planned for this year as well as we continue to showcase Hope's school culture. The most recent campaign that you'll see now, which is doing really well, is the Why STEAM campaign, which highlights the STEAM program. And it also talks about ways that STEAM supports scholars in school and beyond school. So that's the most recent campaign that we're running now. And if you go to the next page, please. Yes, thank you so much.
I'm sorry, Ashley. Sorry, and that's running on social media, or is
It is.
or
It's
just
running
on
on
Facebook and Instagram?
Yes, ma'am. Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. Oh, is it a video or is it just like
They're
pictures
organic
or
pictures.
pictures?
And there are other new pictures. We did a video and picture project towards the end of last year. So there are newer pictures where we're showcasing the STEAM program. It'll also include video as well. We did a video towards the end of the year last year. So we're going to be sprinkling videos throughout the campaign as well.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And for website, we had 13,776 website visits in 2023. Any declines that you see was due to us pushing the My School DC or enrollment links, because of course that's where scholars and families go to enroll, and or sign up links if there were any special events at the time and we were pushing some type of sign up for any events that Mr. Tolliver or administration was having. That's where you see those declines at the time. And if you would go down to the third page, please. Thank you so much. So we have a new addition. We built out a brand new landing page for Hope, and it's dedicated to enrollment specifically. This does not, of course, in any way replace Hope's main website, but it's a one-stop shop and a quick snapshot of who Hope is, which can be very helpful for folks that we're introducing to Hope. It features Hope's offerings, beautiful new pictures, and it allows visitors to have multiple ways to engage the campus. They of course can click to apply to submit an application to My School DC. They can click to schedule a virtual tour. They can click to reach out to someone. So there are a couple different ways that they can engage. There's also a submission area where they can submit very brief information for someone or for Mr. Tolliver to reach back out to them. And it also allows the marketing department to pinpoint where visitors are coming from. So for example, if they are coming from a social media ad or a mobile geo ad, or even if someone scans a flyer or a postcard, we can track that in the back end of that enrollment landing page. And again, it does not replace the main website. It is specifically for enrollment and pushed during the enrollment season in collaboration with the My School DC page.
I'm on the website now, and
it is separate from the website. It's a separate page. It is a separate landing page that we created. The website does not allow us to track the way that the platform that we're using for the enrollment landing page. And a lot of schools do that. A lot of their enrollment landing pages aren't necessarily a part of their main website, but we are going to be linking their landing page to their main website. So that way you can find it from the main website.
So the landing page is the links you get from social media.
Right. So let's say, for example, you are within our audience for our social media ad, and that social media ad shows up for you. When you click that ad, it's going to take you to the enrollment landing page, and you'll see really pretty much all the different things that parents may want to see when they're looking for a new school. But the beautiful thing about it is it also links to the main website just in case they want even more information. But it's really that one-stop shop snapshot of all things Hope. Also, when Mr. Tolliver is out doing canvassing, if someone were to scan the flyer, it'll take them directly to the enrollment landing page. So it's really geared towards new and potential scholars and families.
Do you have enough data yet to know where some of our most successful campaigns are?
But we will have that in the next couple months. Yep, it's new, so it started early this month, January. But we're hoping to start seeing that data in the next couple months as Mrs. Tolliver is going out and doing different events. And then our marketing initiatives are running as well. So we look to see that data soon.
There's some stuff on the website that needs cleaning up, by the way. But also, the board is trying to do a strategic planning process, an abbreviated process, not an intense process that takes a whole year. It would be nice if it's on the website or one of those nice little headlines and features. We need parents to participate as well. The thing to a successful school, and I think everyone on the call understands, parents need to be involved, right? People, it's not just the administration. The parents also have to carry some of the load as well.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
We've posted that on social media as well. And we'll be sure to add it to the website, but we have posted to that to social media, and we have it posting a couple other times up until the deadline that you mentioned as well. But we'll be sure to add it to the website also.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. As far as January market initiatives, we printed an ad in the Capital Community News Education Edition. It's a special education edition, which many of Hope's competitors also publish in. So it's one of those editions that parents look for. And so it was printed in the Hill Rag on January 5th, Mid-City DC and East of the River, January 13th. And the reach is over 100,000 parents. It's also published in the online version of the special education edition as well for all three. And like I said, it is printed inside of the education insert and distributed inside of all three papers. They also print an additional 3,000 copies that are passed out to families at different events like school events, camp fairs, things of that nature. We're also going to receive a social media post on all three of their Instagrams, and that totals over 11,000 followers. And as I mentioned, many of Hope's competitors published even in last year's edition, and they continue to publish in that edition.
Questions?
Mhm.
What does that ad look like? I only ask because if these ads are in print, how are people able to go from seeing the ad to actually inquiring about more information about the school? Is there a QR code? How are they going from ad to us?
Yes, absolutely. So we include a QR code that they can scan. It also includes the phone number and website. Yes, ma'am. Other January marketing activities, mobile geo ads are currently running. We're doing a press release for Hope winning the Washington, D.C. Business Hall of Fame Award. And of course, we're tying in different programming. Enrollment is open now. Digital ads for social media and Google are also running, and as well as the social media campaign that I mentioned. And so the campaigns may change month by month, but this month we're focusing on Why STEAM. And then also their new materials, their print materials. They also got new banners that they have placed in and around the building. Upcoming marketing activities, we are going to be doing a commercial on streaming platforms. So that's streaming platforms like Hulu, Tubi. There's a list of several streaming platforms that we're going to be doing the commercial on. And so that's upcoming, as well as, of course, continued digital ads in our social media campaign. And that is the end of my presentation.
Quick question. So for the social media campaigns, are you going to be incorporating the link to the landing page that you were talking about with those ads? I'm curious about what's the call to action, because I hear a lot of big numbers about the audience that we will be reaching, but how do we actually get that audience into the door? How do we at least kind of track who is seeing these ads so that we can follow up with more information and kind of, recruit people to come?
Absolutely. So the call to action is, it changes every month, right? Because you want a good social media campaign. You want that ad to change every month to something different to re-engage. So this month it's learn more, right? So we tease in about the STEAM program, small classroom sizes, after school programming, and we talk about why hope. Discover hope, and it's learn more versus apply now. The reason why we wanted to start off with learn more today, and I actually think it's discover hope today, is because sometimes parents, they may not be ready to apply right then and there, but they are open to learning more information. So sometimes when they see apply now, apply today, they feel more pressured versus, discover more or learn more. So we wanted to lead our social ads for this month with that. And then the other part of your question was, how are we tracking viewerships on ads? We monitor our ad, our views, our clicks. We can also monitor how many clicks we're getting from our ads to our landing page. Of course, we're not able to collect information from that click because that's not, that part is not ethical. But if they, once they click the ad and go to the landing page and submit the information, and it's just their name, email address, and I believe scholar name, we collect that on the back end. And then Mr. Tolliver receives that report and does the follow-up. And that's if they choose, that's if that's the only thing they do. They have other ways that they can engage the campus on the landing page as well.
For sure. I think my only suggestion would just be like almost, I wouldn't say everything because obviously I'm not a marketing person, but I would say like as much as we can, kind of getting that link out there for them to give us their information, because then the back end is that we can follow up with people who actually are expressing interest and kind of follow through. But I think, you know, just turning those clicks into people who are actually submitting their information and then following up with those people so we can get more people in is the goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
I think, thank you, Ashley. And
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
looking forward to hearing more about these commercials and some of the other stuff.
Yes, yes, we're excited. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's keep it going. We have a couple of approval. Well, Christina, we took on the new business items, we took the HVAC off. Is that correct?
Yes, did we approve the 990?
Not by vote. Do we need to do that?
Formally.
Not formally. Do we need to do that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. We can do it in a sec.
Okay.
HVAC, and so did we take something off the agenda? I'm sorry.
Yes, there was HVAC quotes that we had to remove. Legal needs to look it over and approve it first.
Oh, legal, okay, all right. So the snow stays and the Imagine Learning stays?
Correct. And then this is just the update from operations team.
Okay, all right. All right, let's get through that really quickly and then we can do the vote on the 990. Well, I mean,
Javier, Paul, are you guys giving the update for the operations team?
Yes,
Thank you.
I'll be taking it from here. So attached in the packet were several proposals for snow removal. The recommendation from the campus level is to go with the Dennis M. Kehoe. They're the most responsive when we talk about customer service, pricing points. They really hit on all those metrics. So did any of the board members have any questions about the attached comparison charts?
what's the cost? I mean, is it something we need to approve it, or what are we doing with this? The Adobe link didn't work earlier. Oh, now it works. Okay. It wasn't working when I clicked on it earlier today, so now it is.
Christina, could you pull up the pricing charts, please?
I'm sorry, which charts?
The comparison chart so we can have pricing in front of everyone. The hyperlink. There we go. So again, it's not a kind of omnibus here as you see the breakdown on it. It's going to be based off of what the precipitation looks like at the end of the day. That's why we're recommending with the Kehoe, because it is kind of the most straightforward. As you kind of see in the other ones, we're talking per inch, all that jazz. So I like the simplicity of it, and I think we're going to get really good service from it.
And how soon can they start? Because there's more snow coming tomorrow or overnight.
Correct. If we approve to go forward with the Kehoe, I'll begin conversations with them immediately.
Okay, all right. And we couldn't do seems reasonable, I guess. And they do schools?
Yes.
We have other schools as clients?
Yeah, part of the vetting process is to get those referrals in there. I don't have them immediately available, but they were vetted for their experience in snow removal.
Okay. All right. Okay, we just do the two back to back. Does anyone have any questions about the Kehoe landscape contractors? Seems pretty straightforward to me. Unless
Glad
anyone
we
has-
found someone.
Hmm?
I'm glad we found someone. I know that was a challenge.
I know.
We had three, I guess,
Okay.
so.
And then we have this was in our packet last time, but we didn't need to do it, so it's back. The Imagine Learning quotes.
Yep, and part of that was oh. My apologies, everybody. This is like the night for technology issues. My apologies. Part of that was this piece too. This is the part that we do need to go ahead and move through. It is over that $10,000 cap, and I'll let Amanda speak to it. It is for our EL students, the ones that are new to the country. We need another layer of support. So that's being brought to you since it is over that $10,000 cusp for our EL kiddos.
Okay, I think the last time it was okay. It was 11. We didn't think we needed to approve it, but okay. Okay, all right. Amanda, quickly, you got just 1 minute.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Amanda Brundage, the English Learner Regional Manager. We have a request for Imagine Learning, which is a research-based program that will meet our EL scholars where they're at, and it's an individualized program that will provide us some data based off of where the scholars are at, and we will actually have licenses for the whole school with this purchase. Although we were able to secure a quote that was at a discounted rate, so it's something that would be able to be used with all scholars, and it provides first language support in over 80 languages. So for our new scholars that have interrupted schooling, we can start them in their first language and then the program will gradually release them as their skills build.
Okay, I think Melissa had brought it to our attention last time, so this is pretty straightforward. Just the price changed. Okay. All right. Anything else? And for approval today, that's it. All right. Let's do this. And Paul, I may circle back with you after we do some approvals here. So first up, let's do the approval for the 990. I would like to ask for a motion to approve the 990 financial report.
I move to approve the 990 financial report.
You may have someone to second the motion.
Zanisa, I second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any nays or abstentions? Nope. 990 is approved, and the auditors would proceed with that with Allison's guidance. On the snow removal contract, looks like Kehoe seems to be the choice. I'd like to make a motion to approve the snow removal contract for Kehoe Landscape Contractors to begin as soon as possible. May I have a motion?
This is Anissa. I move to approve the contract for snow removal.
Okay, may I have a second motion?
Tolson, I second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays or abstentions? No. The snow removal contract is approved. And next we have the Imagine Learning curriculum. I can make a motion to approve this product, Imagine Learning curriculum.
This is Anissa. I move to approve the Imagine Learning curriculum.
Thank you. May I have someone to second the motion?
A second.
Thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays or abstentions? No. The Imagine Learning curriculum was approved. And I think that's it for approvals. Thank you. Thank you.
There's stuff in the packet on the marquee sign. Do we need to talk about, is that something?
I don't know. I was going to go back to Paul on this. Is this something that we should be looking at? I'm not quite sure. And then there was also in the update school bus and the electronic payment software. Do you want to kind of run us through that pretty quickly?
Yeah, so I think the marquee sign, this had been a directive, to look into it and to sort it out. It was included today just in light of, we have some pieces to consider, but I know we're also, Ms. Smith, when you're talking about the strategic plan for the campus, whether this is something to go forward with now or to table it until we have that strategic planning of, what we're going to do with the building going forward.
Okay, can live with that. What about the bus?
Bus, where again, if you would like to move forward, again, it kind of tandems up. I know we talked about at the finance meeting this last time to get more of a strategic plan, but if the board would like to go forward with the purchasing approval of the expenditure, these are some options, some price ranges for vehicles that were sourced that could fit that need for Principal Owens. So again, we can do a approval like monetary here for just the vehicle itself, or we can continue to work through it on the finance committee to have the more complete package around spinning up bus service.
And the bus is, correct me if I'm wrong, is through a grant, correct? If
Correct.
yeah,
ESSER 3 funding, if my memory serves correctly.
okay, all right. And the bus, as we heard, is, sorry, go ahead, Anissa.
No, I just had a question because I know nothing about buses. Do we have some type of research about, what types of buses these are, what the upkeep looks like on them, depending on their model year and things like that? Is that information we know to make an informed decision?
Yep. So the type of buses in here, they're going to be your traditional yellow buses. So if you see in there where it says 64 passenger, 70 passenger, 57 passenger, these are, when you get to the large ones, when you think of a traditional bus transport, those are the size ranges you see. So they are competitive size wise, maintenance wise, they're relatively new vehicles. Average life expectancy on a well-maintained school bus, you can be anywhere between 200,000, 350,000 miles. So quickly here you see, for example, the final one there, it says in there, it's around 60,000 miles. They are relatively fresh vehicles when you talk about school buses.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, sorry.
Remind me again, who is driving the buses?
We have hired a bus driver who has a CDL, and then I believe that Principal Owens and Mr. Tolliver are working through CDL B courses as well.
Okay.
But if we get another bus, we need another driver or like dedicated to that. I don't see how Miss Dr. Owens drives the bus every day.
Yeah.
And,
Or it's
and
just
that's
all
part of
over. I mean, I
and
don't
that's
think that's
part of the
sustainable.
conversations we were having in the finance committee meeting just this last time, is to build out some of those more comprehensive. There was just the request from Principal Owens to bring forward the purchase of the vehicle. So I wanted to make sure we were supporting him in that directive. If the board would like a more complete picture of those additional pieces that you're raising, I'm happy to put that together for you. You can also, potentially, if you'd like, you see the price points. I think these price points for the quality of vehicle that we're getting are fair. So if you'd like to have the authorization and then we circle back forward or circle back with after the finance committee meeting, I'm happy to do whatever is most conducive for the success of the campus.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying. The links weren't working earlier, and now they are. So I'm only now looking at them. Oh, and I know part of the plan to grow and expand the school is if we can get students outside of the immediate vicinity of the neighborhood or Ward 5, that's another way we could grow the school as well. So, a school bus in that sense makes sense. I do need to have a conversation first. Personally, I think I'm okay. As a board, I think I'm fine. I can't speak for the others. Um, I just need to have one conversation before I could go ahead to put it on to vote today, I think. But I'm okay, generally speaking, on the bus. But is there a recommended bus out of all of these three options?
It's
Or
all,
it doesn't matter, a bus is a bus. I mean, I don't know.
they're so close in price range and age. It's kind of like, what's the difference between white bread and French bread at the end of the day, right? So it really, if you're asking for my opinion on this here, when I've worked with other boards purchasing buses, because these inventories move so rapidly, I've seen it where a board will authorize, like, you can have a purchase of any similar class of vehicle up into X amount type deal. Then it frees up. We don't necessarily have to come back and like present a specific bus because these timing windows are so short.
Okay.
That's one route you could take.
Okay. And you know what? Field trips, right? We have a STEAM program. Kids need to get out and do stuff in the field. So that could eliminate some of the expenses of renting a bus and all that
Yeah,
other
great.
stuff.
I'm with you. I think the idea is smart to think about how to provide different supports and to give, by having our own vehicles, access to different places within the city for our scholars. But when I left the finance committee, there was something that, like, maybe some of those things, right? So what are the use cases for the bus? What is the plan long-term? Where are our scholars living, where we would need to pick them up? There's something that maybe just a little bit more around the long-term plan for having two vehicles. There was something I felt like, because I agreed in principle on it, but if that's possible to do, just something that is a little, maybe a proposal, nothing like in depth, but something that kind of brings it all together as to the why, the how are we going to use it? And because I know Dan had asked about, well, we need to include a bus driver in the budget. At what point is that something we have to consider? Just something that's a little more long-term thinking, as opposed to just immediately approving one of these buses. But in theory, I'm with you, Carrie. I agree on it too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the thing is, I know we want to be able to expand where students are coming from. I mean, have we decided on where we target, what neighborhood, other than broadly saying wards 1 to 8, are there any specific target areas that we're looking at that could yield us definitely students? Or I've never been on a school bus, so I don't know what it's like to do the pickup and
The scheduling and all of that stuff.
I
Does
don't
someone
know
have
what
to do
goes
that?
into
We're
that.
looking at
No?
we're targeting Ward 8 and Ward 9 right now. Right now we have a few that we're picking up off of when I drop off the pickup spots is on Benning Road, because some of our scholars have moved out that way and they want to change schools, so we're picking up
Okay.
4 scholars from out there, so we wouldn't lose that membership. But we're looking at wards 8 and 9. I talked to some when I went out to Ward 8 and 9 campus, and some of them want to get out of that area to go to school elsewhere.
We don't have a Ward 9.
7
It's
and
only
8.
8
I mean,
wards.
8 ward. I'm sorry,
Okay. I'm like,
7 and 8. 7 and 8. I mean,
this is not New Orleans. This is not Louisiana.
yeah, I was thinking
Um,
Louisiana.
um, okay. All right. Look, what do you say we need to do, Happy? I think any other board members, any comments, anything? No? Okay. I'm okay with the bus. I just think there are a couple questions that need to looking at a little bit more. I'm just ready for the bus. So yes, it's doable. I just think there are a couple questions that we still have, and that may mean another conversation with you, Dr. Owens. And I think we probably need to fit what other information we're looking for, right?
Okay.
So yes, but let's explore a little bit more. I know there's a small window and inventory changes. If it's to the point where it's like all these buses are gone, we need to start over, I will definitely, that's my responsibility. But let's see, maybe we can do a call or something to talk about the bus a little bit more. There's just some questions about it, but okay with it. Just to have a couple more things to let's look at, just so
Okay.
everybody's comfortable on the same page. Can you live with that, Dr. Owens?
Fine with me.
So Paul, what would we need to do? Just, how do we need to wait until, do we give a provisionary vote on
Again,
this, or how does this
there's two
work?
routes to take. You could authorize expenditure up until, again, the most expensive one on there was about 75. I think they're fair prices. If the board would like to authorize an expenditure up until to $80,000, because then you have to do, if you noticed on there, there's not anything for tags, licensing, all of that jazz. Or route two is, like Ms. Barr said, we can run it through the finance committee and come back with that more fulsome transportation picture that includes bus purchase, routing software, drivers, maintenance costs, so on and so forth.
Does the grant money go away anytime soon?
September 30th, 2024, I believe. I'm not, don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the deadline.
Yeah, I believe we have until the end of this school year to
Okay.
submit those. I think that's when ESSER runs out.
Okay, all right. Any thoughts, Allison?
If we approve up to, could we, is there a combo? So we can at least get the approval moving, but then there's something happening in the finance committee where we have a little bit more of a, before you actually, there's a caveat to the approval of before you actually make a purchase. So is that doable?
Yeah, I can be as flexible as the board would need on that.
Okay.
So yeah, if you would like to have, finance, you can also, again, I'm not a Robert's Rule of Order expert, but I think you could also authorize like finance committee to purchase up until that $80,000 threshold. Then it rests inside of that seat, but it doesn't necessarily have to come back to the full board.
Christine, does that seem like doable?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm okay with doing a provision vote at this time.
Me too.
Anissa, you're on board with that? Yeah, okay, all right, so let's do, let's see. I would like to make a motion for a provisional vote on a new school bus for Hope. Up to, do we have available 80?
I think 80
Oh,
would
is that
cover.
our threshold? Then that should include the cost of the bus, but also include us getting our tags and taxes paid from that sum. That's a lot to repeat. Okay, let me start over. Make a motion to approve the purchase of a school bus, up to 80 grand. The purchase is the cost of the bus plus taxes, tags, and other fees. We will make a final vote. They're pending some outstanding questions that need to be answered. But will that work, or do I need to say about I think that should work, right?
Yes.
Christine, give us a blessing.
Yes. Sorry, did you hear me? I said, yes, that should work.
Okay, all right.
Do you need us to make a
I
motion?
need someone to make a motion.
Lorraine
Alright.
seconds via
Yes.
chat.
I'll try. This is Anissa. I'd like to make a motion to approve a bus purchase of up to $80,000 to cover the cost of the bus, tags and taxes, and any additional fees that may accompany that purchase. Granted, we have another vote to finalize the purchase of the bus. Was that?
No, that was no.
Sorry, I needed to write it down.
Maybe chat it and then everyone just read off the chat.
Is pending, I think, what do I say? Pending additional,
And it pending outstanding questions.
pending questions.
One more time. All right, this is Anissa.
Something like that, I think I said.
Yes.
Hold on a sec, Paul. So the finance committee, so we don't want to drag this out and lose an opportunity, and then, No.
I wouldn't necessarily be panicked about losing specific opportunities. So
Okay.
I've worked with brokers in the past. So you can have, it's not just local to the East Coast area. So for example, a campus I worked with in Indiana, I had buses delivered from Kansas.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily panic on it. I put more the expediency on where I've seen, that 30-day window. If I unlock a bus today, right, it may move. So if you want the specific, like, oh, that, Thompson bus was VIN number 157892, that's the one you have to purchase. I'd suggest moving away from that and just do kind of
Okay.
the blanket authorization.
Okay. Okay. So we,
Would the cost of getting a bus from somewhere like Kansas to here have to be considered as well?
Trent, two routes, we have drivers, so not necessarily, because then they could go pick it up themselves and that's cheaper, but delivery costs are not outrageously expensive either.
we only have 80, so you guys will figure it out then.
And that's why it may just be best, again, if you have additional questions, my recommendation would be maybe to just have it live in the finance committee, because like I said, if I'm not worried about the expediency of being able to obtain a bus once the board is satisfied and has their questions answered. So I leave it up to you all. Just from my experience, when I've done other purchases inside of it, I wouldn't let that rush you through any decisions or any questions you may have, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. Sorry, Anissa.
It's okay, I tried. We tried. Sorry.
Do I need to do it over, Christina?
Hold on, are we tabling it?
Trying to type something to see if it works, and then we can just read off of that.
Anissa, are you going to ask, are we tabling it or?
Yeah, just to clarify, so is Paul saying that ask those questions in the finance committee before we do the approval, or just go forward with the approval and then have those questions answered afterwards?
No, we're doing the approval. Yeah, we're doing the approval to buy the bus, but we
Okay.
just need a few more. There's some questions that just need clarifying before we put the final pen to paper. So we're doing the approval now, pending some questions being answered.
Pending questions. Okay. All right. So I move to approve the budget of $80,000 to get a bus that is including the purchase of the bus, tags, and taxes and additional fees that may accompany that purchase, pending additional questions that will be asked at a later date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Need a second.
And I may have someone to second the motion.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? No. The bus purchase pending some questions being answered is approved. And thank you, Lorraine. Oh crap, did I just log out of here? Oh. Oh, sorry, I thought I logged out. Sorry. Okay, all right. Is that it for us today on the agenda?
Yes.
Public comments.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Oh, we will now, where would we go? We will now open the floor to see if there are any public comments. Public comments are limited to agenda items only and no more than 3 minutes. So we'll take a pause in case anyone has a comment to share. Nope. My God, it's after 7. Nope. Okay. So we will now take a motion to move to closed session for the purposes to discuss contracts, legal and personnel issues. For some of you, I know this is the end. Thank you very much for participating. If you must leave, we will just do a short closed session with board members only, and then we'll be back. I need a motion to move us into closed session.
Does Anissa make a motion to move into closed session to discuss matters of legal personnel?
Second motion, please.
Second.
Second, thank you, Christina.
Just one
Have a
moment.
good evening, everyone. Oh,
Have a good evening.
have a good evening.
Have a
Bye.
good evening. Thank you.
I'm assigning us now. Just one moment.
Sure. Is the 202?
Actually may not need
Oh,
to.
it's just us? Okay. I guess Eric was on the call. I guess he didn't log back in.
Yes, please go to our breakout room. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm trying to join.
Oh, that's Ashley.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. Somebody share.
Breakout room going, and what happened? Where's it at?
There we go.
Oh, okay. I am muted. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from closed session. I would like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. May I have a motion to do so?
This is Anissa. I move to adjourn tonight's meeting for January 18th.
May I have a second?
I think Allison accidentally dropped out, but
Lorraine
Lorraine
second.
Lorraine said she second.
Lorraine wrote, I second. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any nays or abstentions? No. Meeting is adjourned. Have a good night. See you in February twice.
Stay warm,
Board
everybody.
meeting and planning session.
Thank you. Feel better, Lorraine. Have a good evening.
Feel better, Lorraine.
Have a good one.
Bye. Thanks.